All right, MOvember 2022, day 2. And tonight for our tool of recovery that I'm going to focus on will be out of this book, Courageous Love, which here's one I prepared earlier. And we use this book for couples that are trying to work their way through the impact of betrayal from infidelity, largely from sex addiction. And this tool is called the FANOS tool. And it's found in the latter part of this book after you've done a full disclosure, that a partner has shared their full impact statement, emotional restitution has been shared, and then you get on to the latter chapters around rebuilding trust and intimacy. And so I'm going to read you a little bit of the preamble on this particular commitment in the relationship, and then you can sort of take this here. Stefanie Carnes, who wrote this book, got this tool, as you can see there, from Debbie Lasser from Shattered Vows. So I'll read the preamble and then we'll talk a little bit about it. So it's from commitment number 7, rebuild emotional intimacy. Good relationships are built on emotional intimacy, not sexual intimacy. In fact, good sex is also built on emotional intimacy. If you feel a deep connection with your partner, you will have a stronger bond, a better sex life together, and a more enjoyable friendship. But after a betrayal, emotional intimacy can be strained and diminished. This loss is not repaired simply because the cheating stops and both partners enter a process of recovery. To restore or perhaps create for the first time a sense of emotional intimacy in your relationship, it is suggested that you set some time aside each day, usually, though not necessarily at the end of the day, for a mutual check-in. At this prearranged time, you and your partner sit down in a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. You can then share your thoughts and feelings. Mark and Deborah Lasser created a couples check-in called the FANOS that has been very helpful for couples. The FANOS is an acronym couples can use to share what is going on with them on a daily basis. And I'll go through that in a second, but I'll just read the last piece. Both partners should check in using this formula as a way of knowing what the other is thinking and feeling. Take turns going first and recognize that this does not need to be a long, drawn-out discussion. It's simply a brief yet honest and vulnerable daily check-in that helps the two of you be honest and stay connected and develop intimacy. Now, I support couples, have studied emotional focus therapy, and do help couples through the process of addressing full disclosure after a discovery or disclosure around being a sex addict. So this tool is really useful, but I don't want to understate just how hard it is to use. Also, in last year's MOvember campaign, I did the safer check-in, and I sort of think that safer check-in it's longer and looks at the mistrust issues that a partner needs for safety and the transparency issues that an addict needs to build trust. So that safer check-in is good to look at for like a weekly check-in, but I think this one here, as it's laid out there, I'll read through it and maybe just give you my thoughts on it. So it's a daily check-in for couples from the Greek word, and I'll never pronounce that right for you guys that study Greek, part of theology, FANOS, which means to bring to light. So we initially check in our feelings, so we state our feelings, not our thoughts. Really hard to do, especially for addicts, to use feeling words. I know in the book called Help a Heal by Carol Jurgensen, she just keeps it to 5 main feelings. But if we can use feelings words, I know here I've got a feelings cushion here I keep in the room. I won't go and get it now. That helps. Even I give it to the kids sometimes and get them to check in what they're feeling. So you state your feelings: sad, glad, mad, angry, shame, guilt. What feelings are you feeling now as you sit across from each other? Affirmation. Give your spouse an affirmation or say thank you for something. It can so easily get lost in family life or when there's a lot of tension in a relationship that we don't focus on something that the other person might be doing well, or sometimes what we affirm might be something wrapped in newspaper, not shiny paper, but we take that chance to focus on an affirmation of that other person so they can feel given to. Needs, ask for something you need today, not necessarily from your spouse. Be specific. One of the things addicts can do is disconnect from their needs and wants and focus just on wants. So tuning into what you need today, whether it's from the other person or in your life, can be a good practice. And for betrayed spouses, sometimes they can also feel really shut down and not given to. So it's a good chance for us to share what do we need from each other today. For a betrayed spouse, it might be a very literal need of, I need to check your phone. You came home late last night, or I'm not sure. Can I check your email? So sometimes the needs can be very specific. Sometimes they can be more existential. We might need to own something. So own something that you did or said that that you need to take responsibility for, or apologize for. This is very much out of a step 10 too, from a 12-step fellowship, where we continue to take inventory, and when we're wrong, promptly admit it. So resentment doesn't build up, and we're more likely to be giving and selfless to someone if we can own our resentment. And then for addicts, it's a report on our sobriety. How are we going? What's the closest we've come in thought, word, or deed? We mightn't have acted out, but are we going okay? And it's important to be able to continue to get the trust and safety issues met for our partner, that we need to be transparent in sharing where our recovery's at. One of the biggest complaints I see in the work of a disclosure is partners get so angry in their impact that they have to feel like they've got to find the right question to get the answers they need. So it's a great practice for addicts in recovery to be able to go, look, here's what I need to say about my recovery today. And sometimes it's a win and sometimes it's a struggle, but the honesty is what rebuilds the trust. So guys, this is all for MOvember. This is the Mo space. If you QR code that with your phone, that will take you through to my MOvember page. Any donations you can give is great. If you know someone else doing MOvember, don't give it to me, give it to your friends. It's always nice when you see a little bit of money trickle in to go towards men's health, and this is why I do MOvember. So if you can have a look at that page. I do a video every day in the MOvember period, and I also am giving a daily update on my MOvember. Obviously I didn't shave down. I'm doing 10,000 steps a day in the 0 to 5k run app for this month as for my physical health and well-being. So that's MOvember day 2. I want to keep these videos short and concise. I hope this explanation of the FANOS as a recovery tool found in the book Courageous Love by Stefanie Carnes has been useful. And with that, I'll say goodnight.